scripted definition of stop. Who are you talking to? He's talking to himself. Don't forget to drink water, obviously, but you know when you see those news articles about how specific foods might previously have been thought to be beneficial or positive are now recently discovered to be bad. An example is eggs, chicken eggs. I'm sure we've all heard about that. Or cow's milk. I still eat eggs, obviously, and cow's milk. I guess I fell into the trap, or not necessarily a trap, but oat milk, which started with almond milk, is definitely the new normal. Occasionally, I will, indulge in some cow's milk. That was crazy. But the difference is, I guess I had a point to make at the start of this. Me speaking about, it's a very broad thought that I'm about to convey, so that's why I'm taking my time to use the right words, because words are, as you know, or maybe you don't know, they're very limiting, so sometimes miscommunication isn't necessarily the listeners or the readers or even the people making, their point. Maybe it's not their fault, maybe it's just lack of communication options, because that's basically what words are. They're things we use to communicate. So there's a possibility in this world that there are some words that will probably make it easier for us to communicate. Let's start off by not, giving all our hopes to English, because English is, you all know what English is. I don't want to go on another rant, but essentially what I'm trying to say is, I said drink water at the start of this conversation, and I'm being facetious with the word conversation, because I'm not talking to anyone, but anyone right now, but I guess in the future, which will also be now, because in the future it's going to be now, you'll understand what I'm trying to say. Cut, re-record. Now you see what I just did there for the past 5 minutes? If I got all those words, bunched them up, where there's no spaces, there's no ums, there's no ahs, there's no, there's always speaking. The point he's making, or the point I'm making, the past record I just made, is viable. It's true. It makes sense. But with the ums and the ohs and the, just not talking, it leaves room for misinterpretation. Obviously, it leaves room for disinterest. Humans, I'll speak for myself too. Our patience is, maybe not patience, but our attention is running thin. We can try to counteract that by, gratitude, meditation, prayer, just being thankful to be alive for the little things that, you don't always need to lust or greed over bigger and better things. When we can see time and time again, those things don't lead to happiness. Maybe briefly, maybe for, a short period. I'm not going to deny it brings happiness. But long term, it's like math, you see, 1 + 1 is 2. It makes sense, it always happens. So going back to the 5-minute thing, the point he's trying to make makes sense, but if he doesn't, well, I'm trying to make sense, but because there's so much space or room for interpretation, which could be used to your advantage too, to create suspense, create a dramatic effect, but then everything is to a degree. To a certain degree, it will be perceived to the readers or listeners that the person talking is trying to make a point, but finding it difficult. Not necessarily they're making a point, but it's so profound that they need to take their time. Just little things like that just make me believe we haven't even scratched the surface of communication, words, the books we read, the books we believe in, like our names. Anyway, we record stuff. Well, you just stop. That's peace. Would you say that was 5 minutes or 15 minutes? Because just to be safe, we record 15 minutes. And then we're just going to cut that up, lower the fire. Because the fire, to make it sound like we're at a campfire, you don't want the fire to just be so loud that you don't even hear what anyone's saying. So turn that down. Yeah, I'm happy too, because finally, just be you and don't downplay yourself, man. Don't downplay your decisions. Don't downplay what you trust will happen if you really did what you said you would. Don't downplay that. So, yeah. Re-record. That was probably the most natural and the most, for lack of a better term, living in the moment I've ever felt in a very, very long time. And the scary part is, I think the ability to do this has always been there, but unfortunately, the belief in the ability, I guess that took a while to peep his head open, come outside. At this point, it's plus, right? So after the story, it's plus everything that happened from the previous story. So plus would be essentially the same thing. So in a sense, it's almost like a metaphor for the bad ending. I don't know. Well, I do know. It is a metaphor for a bad ending. But, life has a funny way of just working things out. Especially when you're being true to yourself.